time, so you are on tape and on video. As soon as we finish our salute to the flag, we should be active. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We have a couple items on our agenda this evening to kind of plow through, but we'll open the meeting with an opportunity for public comment should anyone be here for that purpose. I assume you're requesting to be, sort of recognized?
I'm here for that purpose.
Okay.
Good. Hey, the reason I'm here is because at town meeting, this board rewarded the DPW Commission and the employee. I guess you rewarded them because you gave them 12% raise.
Mm-hmm.
And now I find that he's not even working here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd like to know what the DPW has over this board, or you guys individually, that you reward folks who work for us for doing bad work and then leaving in the middle. Now, there are other folks here that work here.
Mm-hmm.
When they see that the board rewards a poorly productive department, they say, well, we don't even have to show that we're better than most, because they reward people who do dumb things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I find out when I was at a DPW meeting that Jason's been working for another company,
Mm-hmm.
wherever the company may be.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I'm understanding, he's still working there.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a DPW guy. We have a bridge that was discussed at the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I did a little homework, if this bridge is not addressed, we may be losing our Chapter 90 money if we let it go any further, or a certain distance, or whether we got any communication from those departments, and I'd like to know. The citizens, by the way, this is coming from the Barre Taxpayers Association,
Mm-hmm.
which has meetings the first Wednesday of every month,
Mm-hmm.
at the first downstairs at the library, and we welcome anybody who wishes to come to discuss things in Barre, to come and share it with everybody,
Mm-hmm.
because I think maybe you guys need to contact the Inspector General and send them a letter with us seeing the letter, saying that we're having a problem, we don't know what to do, we don't have a DPW guy, we have a commission that gives us the finger every time they possibly can.
Remember, we're live.
It's okay, people have heard the word finger.
I was concerned with the gesture, but moving on.
Oh, okay. And, I think we need a little help. And now, no doubt we may have not an annual town meeting, a second town meeting.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, because we generally do.
Mm-hmm.
At the last town meeting, there was an agreement that we would have a sign on the common telling, and this was paid for by ARPA funds, that would say we have some sort of a town meeting. Now, whenever the town meeting is, I want to make a request early, we want to make a request early enough for you guys to
Mm-hmm.
figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
so that there's a sign there.
Mhm.
And I know every time that you guys have asked for the commission, not the DPW commission, the historical committee. Every time you ask the committee, they come in and they give you all sorts of books and pictures, and it's like Alice's Restaurant with all the letters and the pictures and all this, and it's all wonderful. We come back and we all clap and we kiss everybody, and we still don't get a sign. I think it's about time. And
Well, we don't get a sign that you want.
No,
We're
no,
gonna get a-
we don't get any kind of a sign.
Well, no, we have a sign. a sign that's going to be placed within the next week or so. It's all done, it's by the sign maker. However, it isn't the sort of, shall we say, interactive video.
No, it's not, but it's probably something that says, you
Town
can
of Barre.
maybe hook something on it saying that we're having it, that has to be written out on orange paper or something to tell people that something's going on in this town.
So I don't want to stop you,
so-
but we're limited in time, so,
No, we're not limited, we have a meeting at 5:30.
well,
It's 5:30 now, and I'm speaking.
Okay, I understand that, but
It's
there's,
not your meeting, so please show some respect, Sam.
what my concern just is, you've brought up
Mind your own business.
a substantive series of issues, the sign being probably less dramatic than your first, thing that you didn't bring to our attention. We're well aware of the circumstances now. Obviously, we had no knowledge of this impending circumstance at town meeting or any decision that was made prior to probably mid-July. We had no formal notification that there was a change or potential change in the status of that employee. And obviously, we have legal counsel and other mechanisms afoot that we are working through the problem. Please understand that every individual involved in this has rights, and we want to make sure that we address the situation in a manner that doesn't in some way put the town in a circumstance where we could be countersued for some reason. So we're concerned as you are. I don't want to speak for John, but I know that
We would like to, the citizens would like to see you're outwardly concerned.
So-
And one of the things we'd like to do is you make a motion today to send a request to look for another DPW representative and send it out. 'Cause we don't want to wait for the next meeting and the next meeting to do it. The bridge that I'm talking about could be an extremely dangerous bridge, and we could lose Chapter 90 money if we don't act appropriately. So I would hope that you guys would get together, make a motion, and second it and third it, or whatever you do, so that tomorrow morning you send out a notice, we need a new DPW guy. However
So,
you do it. That's
I mean, just to unpack a little bit of what you said, I do want to clarify a couple things. You'll note at that DPW Commission meeting, I made a motion to rescind the offer of an MOU, so no raise has been given at this point.
Know what?
No raise has been given to that individual at this
Okay.
point.
No, but you have to forget about that for now. Let's get someone else to do our work.
Well, I mean, there's I also asked for an investigation at that time, as you're aware.
Yeah.
And we need some sort of investigation. I don't personally have any evidence that any times reported have not been worked appropriately. I don't have that evidence of anything like that. That's what we need to find out.
But has Jason been working for another company?
Yes.
Now that it's past.
I mean, it's
his
there.
vacation. He had vacation.
yes.
And at the meeting, he said he can work any place he wants for his vacation. God bless him, he can. But has he been accepting funds from another company after his vacation?
That is a matter of public record, yes.
And if he has, then it's about time we raise our hand and says, we need a new DPW guy because we have work to do.
We're very
It's-
appreciative of your opinion.
Oh,
Okay.
good,
I mean,
glad.
it's an unfortunate situation because I genuinely believed going into town meeting that if we could restructure the DPW so that there was a good bit more oversight and a little bit more authority for the director, that there was a chance. Like, I genuinely thought that it would be a great thriving situation for Barry and for the current superintendent. I really thought it would be good for everybody. And it's disappointing that it's at this point. And
We just have to go on.
I-
So if we go on, thank you. I heard you at your meeting, I sat right next to you. I heard you. So what do you guys think about making a motion, someone, getting a new, reach out for another DPW guy now, because it's not gonna happen like this. There's gonna be discussions, and there's gonna be interviews, and there's gonna be that, and we may lose some sort of a place in the DPW mechanism. And I would
unfortunately,
hope that you guys would be smart.
Unfortunately, with the structure that we have with our DPW commission, we don't have that authority. The select board itself doesn't have that authority.
Okay?
The best we can do, aside from getting other DPW commissioners to agree, is to individually publicly call for the resignation of the DPW superintendent.
Okay, so hopefully, we don't need to have multiple motions for that. So
No, I,
Can someone
it's-
make motions to do that today?
that's not a motion, that's an individual thing that each of us could do. And unfortunately, I do think it is necessary at this point for me to say that to call for the resignation.
Okay, so does that mean everybody's going to do that, or? it has to go-
That's just me, I
it
don't
has to
speak
go
for anybody
through a
else.
committee? Are you going to do that?
No,
You won't do it. Are you gonna do that?
but I want to explain to you why. I know that it is difficult sometimes to walk through what it's like to work in a municipality versus a private company, where the way in which employees may be managed is very different than the way they must be managed in a town situation, in a school situation, in the state of Massachusetts. If we wanted to take the kind of action you would like us to pursue, there's a series of steps that we must take to protect the rights of the individual who is going to be impacted by any decision we would make. He has the right to be heard, he has the right to counsel, and for us to just willy-nilly, because you came in here and think it's a good idea, for us to take away the rights of this individual would be tantamount to foolish on our part as a board, because we could be sued for doing so.
I-
So I'm just telling you
I
that,
understand what you're saying.
okay, good then.
However, without going through a lot of verbiage, Barre has a bridge that we have to address.
Mhm.
We have other DPW issues that we have to address.
Agreed.
We possibly have water break main issues that we have to address. We have drainage issues. We need someone as an interim to do the work that this person or this organization has been doing or has possibly been doing over the period of time, so that we don't get caught. That's all.
Yeah. I would just tell you that we have attorneys, 2 different attorneys, who are providing us with information as to our best next steps to protect not only the individual's rights and so forth, but also to protect the town of Barre from making a stupid decision by disregarding the rights of a person and being sued. Countersuit would not be a good thing.
So to clarify, this board can't take specific action. Each of us individually as representatives of the town of Barre can express our opinions.
Mhm.
And I think I've made my opinion, unfortunately, that does have to be my opinion. And
By the way, unfortunately, the town of Barre does no longer have the luxury of having the really positive costs from Jim Beard.
Right.
And we are going to end up paying money, so I hope you guys pay attention, that's all.
I would just tell you that I would never, take the responsibility individually or otherwise to say I would want the resignation of person A or B without having first provided that individual with the opportunity for a public hearing, or a private hearing or public hearing if he or she would choose, to hear, rebuttal, to hear the side. I know that is painful for some people to say Maureen is so slow to act. I've been in this business a long time, and I know that I have been involved in numerous situations with teachers who have the same rights, that the town employees have. And I think it is my obligation to make certain that this board, as a board, you say what you want as individuals, but I certainly would never push this, and say, yeah, this is a great idea to disregard the rights and obligations, the rights of this individual or our obligations as a public entity. I wouldn't do it.
as a board, we need to respect those.
Yes.
So my question is, what's the town of Barre gonna do in the interim to get some of the things done that we need to get performed, so we don't cause the government to refuse to send us Chapter 90 money because we haven't
So
crossed the Ts and dotted the Is and do whatever we need to do, because we have a bridge, and if somebody goes over that bridge, I'm not sure where it was, I
It's-
just heard about it through the meeting.
Yeah.
They said 4 or 5
there
different
are 2
areas.
bridges.
Two
There's one on Valley Road and one on Old Colebrook. The shoulders on one side, actually, I have
No, that's okay. You can tell
No, we received certified mail from MassDOT detailing what the bridges needed. It was brought up at the last DPW Commission meeting. Let's get it straight.
By the way, thank you. Let's sit back over here.
Thanks, Steve.
So it
Thank you for your
is,
courtesy, Lauren.
Thank you.
all right. So to be clear, we'll start with the first one, Valley Road over Prince River. And this is formally sent to us from the District Highway Director, Patricia Leavenworth. The referenced bridge, in this case Valley Road over Prince River, has to have its roadway restricted to prevent vehicles from driving over beams 8 and 9. There's a diagram that demonstrates that beam 8 and 9 are on the east side of the bridge. So if you're headed towards Williamsville, it's going to be on your right side. So we need to restrict the shoulder on that side. The other bridge, Old Colebrook Road over
No,
Prince
we have
River.
to do certain things.
Right, and they're requiring that certain barricades be put up to protect those. Then there are repairs that need to be made, the bridge needs to be re-inspected, and then the barricades can come down. I did clarify with MassDOT the day after that meeting that that is the requirement. That we can't just do cribbing ourselves and call it good. We need to block them off and have them re-inspected once the repairs are done before we can reopen the shoulders.
By the way, as an interesting aside, I've had dealings with Patty Leavenworth before, and she's very thorough and very determined, and it would be wise to respect her limits.
I've seen her speak on a number of occasions at different conferences. She's a great engineer. But anyway, so then the Old Colebrook Road over Prince River, that bridge needs to be restricted to one lane so that there's alternating traffic in each direction. It's beams 1 on the north side of the bridge and beams 7 through 9 on the the south side of the bridge. And
John, in your opinion, obviously, I respect very much, especially about road stuff. Would it behoove us to potentially close the bridge that you just referenced, which is the one near Palmer Paving, which is, of course, we're talking about a lot of heavy truck traffic in and out of there in that area, where we could shift, that would shift them back around Colebrook, and they would become a Fruitland Road right on to 122, because they're big trucks when they're loaded down.
So this is specifically referencing beams on certain parts of it. Those beams need to be closed off. I don't do bridge inspections.
Okay.
I'm going by what this letter says that was sent to all of us. It was also sent to the police department. That's why they were able to go out and put cones at least in the interim. Again, it was said at the DPW Commission that all it needed was some cribbing. That contradicts what these letters say.
What they're trying to do is keep everybody on the
Yeah.
center of the good
Essentially,
beams. And I was
yes.
under
Keep
the
it on
bridges
the
today,
center of
so I
the road.
looked at them.
Yeah.
So I understand fully what they're trying to do. And
Right.
It's basically a 12-foot lane or, not very much more than that.
But yeah, it does give the option of instead closing the road.
Yeah.
But that's
Well-
only required if the shoulders are not restricted as this
I
outlines.
would say the only question I would have, and it's obviously coming from me, and you're all gonna say, what about our school buses? Is there any need to reroute out of that, area on Colebrook Road Bridge?
I mean,
Safe than sorry, I don't know.
I mean, I'm comfortable trusting the report by the engineers.
Okay,
If the school wants to, mitigate liability by doing that, I think that's their choice. I wouldn't question it if they made that choice, but I don't believe it's necessary based
Well,
on the reports they sent
okay.
us. So, I mean,
I just feel it's important to ask that question, because obviously, 73 passenger bus loaded down with high school kids is heavy.
yeah, I'm not an expert on bridges.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Well, I will
I mean-
say, I'm not either.
Yeah, these are publicly available. They were sent to all of us.
Okay. No,
So I appreciate that the cones got out there quickly, but we need
Chief Saborna was
stronger-
very, very helpful in following.
We
through
need
on that.
stronger barriers than that, otherwise there's the potential that MassDOT could freeze Chapter 90 money.
Did MassDOT ask the police to put them out, or did they ask the DPW?
So MassDOT sent this letter
To
to
the DPW.
DPW and
That's what I
Police
thought.
Department.
Just want to clarify that.
No, it does include the Police Department on the
And they were
letter.
good enough to do it, which is
Yep.
good. And I went there today and, they already have a couple of their cones thrown in the river, so people are messing around with it. It's not the
Well,
it's not the proper way.
cone.
I
It's
mean-
not the proper cones.
Yeah.
We need
We're
barriers
doing
that
the
can't
best
We
be
need the
picked
kinds
up
that they
and walked
have
away with.
down on Vernon Avenue,
Mhm.
Main Street in South Barre.
Yeah, they need to,
Those cones that,
they
you
throw them
know,
with
stay
glycol
to
so
put
they don't
around.
freeze.
Yeah,
That's what needs to
Right.
happen.
That's what needs to be done there.
okay.
I don't know if that addresses, I think, did we cover all of your comments, Sam?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I'm trying to say, let's stop.
It needs to get done.
Let's stop
Oh.
sending things to committee and let's get it done. We need a DPW guy.
The
A
reason,
person,
yeah.
not necessarily a guy.
That's right.
It could be a female. We could ask Patty Leavenworth to come in.
so when I reached out to MassDOT to verify, what was said at the DPW Commission meeting, I did at least attempt to see if there was any way they could do it for us, and that didn't have a lot of traction. They seem to indicate that they can provide the barriers for
Okay.
us, but we need to get them,
Okay.
so.
Thanks.
Were either of these bridges considered to be a plan for repair or
Yes.
replacement by the state?
Yes.
Or both of them?
Both.
So this is a temporary measure till the state gets to the
Gets to
bigger
it.
repair?
And they've done some,
Okay, that's,
they've done
I
some
just wanted to better understand.
preliminary work there,
Yep.
but, yeah.
So.
We, quite frankly, I thought that that was something that was going to be happening this fall, but I guess the state might be a little behind on their record as well. Dennis?
How long have the Jersey barriers been up on the bridge on Canal Road?
Oh, that's the one I just referenced. That's state barriers, though. That's a state, I think, issue again, and that's been like 5 years, maybe?
Is it that long?
Oh, yeah, it's been a long time. Long time.
Uh,
I mean, it's, two cars can do it, but
Yeah.
it's been a long
lot of
time.
trucks go over it.
Yes, they do.
Mhm.
Okay, moving on, out of public comment now, and moving on to the discussion of approval of town employee time card format and completion. I think that this is something we've talked about for a number of weeks and months and so forth. And John, you have a recommendation at this point?
Yes, this is an update to the existing personnel policy where this applies. So I'll read through it. The purpose of this policy update, the purpose of the is to require all employees to report beginning and end times for any and all work reported on each time card. The provisions of this policy apply to all full-time, part-time, and on-call employees for the town of Barre that are subject to the submission of time cards as defined in the personnel policy of the town of Barre, unless otherwise exempted from this provision through individual or collective contracts. All time cards shall be submitted with start and end time for duties performed each day, shift, or portion of a shift. Time cards shall also include a total number of hours worked each day and a total number of hours worked each week. Start and end times may not be rounded to an interval greater than 30 minutes. An employee who fails to submit the required information on each time card may be subject to disciplinary actions as outlined in the personnel policy of the town of Barre. So for the vast majority of people in town, this does not make a difference. Most people already submit start and end times when you look through payroll. I noted particularly that all of the unions already do that, so there shouldn't be any issues there. This is just for a handful of employees who don't otherwise report start and end times each time they're working.
Is there anything in personnel bylaws that would require us to have a wait period on this change? John, did you check? I don't think there is.
We had talked at one point in the past about putting together a policy
Yep.
requiring us to wait to move forward with policies. We haven't actually done that.
Yep.
So we could approve this now, technically, as I understand it,
Okay.
unless you know of anything else.
Could we have an effective date? I mean, we're in the middle of a pay period at this point. Do we want to start this effective at the next pay period, which would start September 2nd? Or do we want to start it in the middle of this pay period, which is next
Monday.
Yeah, the 26th.
I would say effective on Monday. All of the time cards that are submitted in a way that it can be written on them,
And we-
or there's access to that style
Okay, so
of time
do
card.
we say, though, that it's effective August, okay, and we don't expect people to go back in time and make notes, or do we?
No, I think it's
moving
effective for everyone moving
August
forward,
August
I would say.
26th, which is the middle of this next pay period.
I'll send out an email. to
Have any
Barre
more
tonight.
questions, suggestions? Okay, further discussion, we have motion?
I move to approve the time card reporting policy update for the,
As presented, huh?
as presented for adoption within the personnel policy of the town of Barre.
Effective on August 26th.
Yep.
With an effective date, we have.
I would second that.
We have a motion made and seconded for the revision of this policy regarding time card completion and submission. Further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's a vote. Okay, we have discussion of release of the DPW Commission meeting video for the meeting held on Monday, August 12th, 2024. I understand that has not been released yet. We do have a couple citizens who have requested release. It is being held for no mechanical reason that I'm aware of, and we have had contacted our town council regarding the matter, and it is essential that we release the information. So I would seek a motion by this committee to make immediate efforts to ensure that that is released by the DPW Commission.
I'm not sure exactly what that motion would be. It's required
Well, follow,
to be,
well, basically to adhere, they're the only ones with a copy of it. We do, I understand, have a verbal phone sort of rendition of the meeting, but I think it's important. There is confusion when I did speak with the DPW representatives to say, why isn't this released? And they said, well, because there were things said at the meeting that, cast aspersions on an individual, yeah. I said, it doesn't matter. That happens all the time at our select board meeting, and it's live. And it's live. It's not even.
and according to the recording bylaw, it does need to be released within 1 week.
Yeah, yes.
It was recorded, it is a public document. So, based on public records requests, it does need to be provided within the time frame required there.
Okay, well, I would say that
I can, I put in one of those records requests.
Being that it is a physical piece of property of the town,
Mhm.
I think the motion would be fairly simple, to have it surrendered immediately.
Yep, that works. I move to have to direct
Flash
to.
drive?
Well, I'm trying to think of the wording for this.
Because it goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it comes via.
I move to require that the recording be released to the town administrator and to the public immediately.
Wait a second.
Timeline, by tomorrow noon?
I'll second that amendment.
Is there any penalty if this doesn't
Immediate.
get done?
What's that, Tim?
Can you guys, I don't know if it's collectible, can you guys dictate that if it's not done, there should be a financial penalty? from
The only thing
commission?
the only thing I would indicate is remember that there are some individuals who don't work on Friday. It's not a work day. And I would indicate that saying Monday the 26th would probably be something we could hang our hats on, because we're gonna have to, I think.
That's all I was gonna suggest.
I would
Yeah,
agree.
how about a
Because
penalty
if the
if they
individual
don't do
is
it?
working on a
Well-
Friday, it
We-
just creates excuses.
I'm pretty sure they're watching.
Well, I'll say if it's not by, I want to say Tuesday or Wednesday, it's outside of the window for public records requests anyway.
And what happens then?
Well, then
There,
penalty is up to a year in prison.
yeah,
It's a week overdue already, so.
Yeah.
Generally starts with you owe any fines for further legal action where they, every time they pay a lawyer to send another letter,
Mhm.
you gotta pay that lawyer's fee.
Yeah.
It starts with that.
Right.
I'm afraid-
let's,
I don't wanna say it doesn't
let's
ever
live in hope
end,
that
but-
we don't have to pursue that avenue. I'm hopeful.
Well, I believe that would be the state pursuing
Yes,
that avenue.
Hey, you know, as well, you guys know as well as I do, that it's a power trip between the DPW and the select person. We gotta,
No, I disagree.
we gotta straighten this power trip issue. We
I-
should
I-
correct it, so this doesn't happen again, so we all have symbiosis. We don't, we're having, and the question is, who's running this town anyway? Is it the DPW commission or is it the selectmen people?
It's sort of like, okay, there are rights and so forth that have to be respected. And everyone thinks it is very easy to just trample on somebody's civil and employee rights. It's not, and it's wrong.
To be-
And that means it takes longer to affect a solution. And it's particularly complex here because the select board does not have complete and individual jurisdiction. There is a commission of which we're members, but we are not necessarily have the biggest vote. We're only 1/3 of that group. And there is legislation that says, you know, what our role and responsibility will be. I will tell you that this will be resolved, and not as quickly as any of us would like, but it will be resolved.
I do want to clarify, Sam, that the commission has not withheld the video. The commission has not said or voted in any way to withhold the video. It's being withheld by a department,
Within the
or
commission?
potentially within, but the commission itself has not met or discussed this.
It's not within their right to withhold it.
Right, it's
It
not
is
within the
town
right of the
property.
commission or an individual employee to withhold it.
So we have a motion, and the date would be the 26th rather than tomorrow. Or not?
Yeah.
Okay, on August 26th, that we would expect it to be released at noontime, before noontime?
That it is required to be released.
Yeah, it's required to be released. We have a motion
Second.
made and seconded.
Yep.
Further discussion, comment, concern? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Tammy, you will take responsibility for in letting us know?
Yep, if I receive it on my phone, I will definitely make sure it's forwarded
Okay.
to Sandy, yes.
And make sure that there's a missive somehow sent to them in writing about this action tonight,
Mhm.
quoting the open
I will
meeting
send
law
an email.
text that's necessary.
Absolutely.
I will also
There's a-
personally speak to the chair of the commission,
Mhm.
indicating that this is a commission issue as well as it's a select board issue, and they should be, paying attention to it.
Absolutely.
And just a footnote on the special act. The special act remains silent in any personal or real estate property of the town of Barre. I just want to get that out there. So basically, it doesn't fall within the commission. We are in control of the personal property. I just wanted to
Of
let
the personal.
the personal property of the town.
Oh.
The special act in 1988 remains silent.
You're
Yes.
referring to the
On any
video as,
personal
as-
real estate.
yeah.
Yeah,
The select board has.
yeah, well,
That's all I want to say.
Some comment?
One thing that I think would help, especially moving into the future, is when you can actually develop the policy that bylaw talks about having and issuing it. Because if you had done that and the recording was done the way that policy requires, then the town administrator would already have access to it. Because the individual recording would not be the only person having that access.
I mean, the
So-
department wouldn't be the only ones with it.
So hopefully,
Yeah.
we're making traction, because it may prevent something like this in the future.
We live in hope, and you're right. Thank you. I think that is all the business that we have on our agenda to be discussed this evening. We have taken action on those items that we need to do. We have had public comment from several individuals here. We thank you for your attendance. Anything else? Hearing
Move to
nothing.
adjourn?
We have a motion to adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion made and seconded to adjourn. And before we finally adjourn, I want to thank you, Mark, for helping cut down some vegetation with
No
me
problem.
out on the commons, and I get, those other two, they gotta go too. Okay? Anyway, that being said, those in favor of adjourning? Aye.
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 Okay, moving on.
Moving out?
Thanks.
Thank you,
I don't know what's still on.
The mic's on.
I didn't mean any disrespect, I was just trying to bring it
Yeah.
peaceful, no
By
conversation.
the way,
now we're good, right?
but sometimes it's not, right?
Not in the public meeting, it's always my business. Wouldn't that be what you say, Sam?
Yeah.
No, I'm just.
And Matt,
No, but sometimes it is, sometimes if you let people speak.
yes, on,